it just got real for the Los Angeles Lakers. We have multiple huge updates to go over today as it pertains to some injuries to LeBron and Luka, but also a couple of other players that have fans fired up. There's also been some rumors and rumblings surrounding the important stretch of games that are approaching for the Lakers. They are a lot bigger than fans have thought. So we're going to break that down and discuss what it means going forward as things just got very real for the Los Angeles Lakers. But before we get into it, folks, if you are a part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Lakers content. Your guys' support has been absolutely unbelievable. If you want to help us towards our big goal of 20,000 subscribers, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And thank you guys again for your continued support. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a big game today, but I'm not just focusing on the video or on the game, tonight in this video. There's a lot of other things that really pertain to the Lakers because they are now falling down a little bit in the Western Conference here. We have some updates, and let's start with the injury update. Now, I know Okeshi broke down some of the updates in yesterday's video, but I'm going to rehash them because we also have some new updates that have just dropped this morning. So you can see here, Luka Doncic, Jackson Hayes, Dalton Knecht, they are all probable. Dorian Finney-Smith and Gabe Vincent, they are questionable. We have an update on that in a minute. And, of course, Rui, LeBron, and Maxey are out. So, for one, it's great news that Dalton Knecht is going to be playing tonight simply because of his fall he had late in the game the other night. But the big storyline now was, I mean, we knew Luka Doncic was probably going to play, but it was Jackson Hayes because we're living in a world where, as Lakers fans, we want Jackson Hayes to play. He has looked fantastic alongside Luka Doncic. Luka plays a lot better when he has a pick-and-roll guy. We saw in the last game, Christian Koloko coming in and really playing well against the Nuggets. And yes, he got the N1 against, Nikola Jokic had the N1 against him late in the game to kind of win them the game. But having a pick and roll threat where Luka can throw a lob to not only immediately attracts more defenders to Luka, which opens up the lob, but it also works vice versa where when the big man the five starts dropping for lob coverage, Luka has the ability then to open up the floor and shoot the ball, whatever he wants to do. Luka does best, of course, driving, all these different things. But having Jackson Hayes back is not only a fantastic news, but it's crazy now that in 2025, we're talking about Jackson Hayes being a crucial part of this team. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, we do have an update surrounding Gabe and Dorian Finney-Smith. They will both play today. So they are both going to be in the lineup tonight, which, quite frankly, is also huge news. They were both questionable, and they've been dealing with just injury management stuff. We know that the front office, JJ Redick, all those guys at this point are trying to make sure that all the big guys are healthy for when the playoffs roll around. We'll dive into the standings in a little bit here. They're trying to make sure everyone's healthy from the playoffs roll around, right? So they've been resting LeBron, of course. He's probably going to come back, I'd assume, in a week or so. But as it pertains to Gabe Vincent, Dorian Finney-Smith, they are back in the lineup. So now we have a full lineup of solid players. Luka's playing, Reaves is playing, Rui's out, LeBron's out, but you can now assume a lineup depending on how they go with this. You can have Dorian Finney-Smith back in the lineup. You now have Jackson Hayes back in the lineup. The lineup looks a lot more deep, and that is going to pay big dividends because these games matter a ton. I want to dive into that a little bit here because you look at the Western Conference right now, the Lakers have fallen into the 5 spot, but they also have 3 games in hand compared to some of the other teams, which, again, the Memphis, Denver, and Houston, of course, because of the Los Angeles fires that we experienced a while ago, or that LA experienced a while ago. Because of those fires, the Lakers now have to have a bunch of back-to-backs this month. They have to, play a bunch of games. So, again, they had 3 games in hand. They're going to start to make up those games. Of course, it's unfortunate. But at the end of the day, the Lakers have to just play what's in front of them. They're playing really, not good ball right now. They've lost 4 in a row, but they're playing okay ball given the circumstances. And they have a chance now. If they win these 3 games, they're tied in the 2 seed. Now, again, these are going to be very difficult games to win, but this schedule is not easy, right? The schedule is rough. The standings are rough, and you're trying to stay out of the play-in spot because these games have, I think, much bigger implications than a lot of fans initially thought, simply because the Warriors and the Timberwolves are absolutely rolling. Ladies and gentlemen, you can see there, the Lakers are only 1 win ahead of Minnesota, but in reality, because they've played a lot less games, they have 4 less losses. But regardless, anything can happen in this league. And depending on LeBron's injury here, these games and these stretch of games going forward are absolutely huge for the Lakers. They are massive. You need to stay out of the play-in spot. Whether or not you want to go for the 2 seed, it's probably hard at this point to get the 2 seed because of how good of a regular season team the Nuggets are, the Memphis are, and all these other teams now that are starting to get healthy, starting to play well. The Warriors, Jimmy Butler, Minnesota seem to figure it out since the interesting cat trade that they made. Now, Gobert, Randall, and all those different guys, Dante DiVincenzo. You're at a point now where if you are the Lakers, you need to go out and not only really take care of business. And that's why tonight, or this afternoon, I guess, is such an important game against the Suns, because yes, the Suns on paper are a pretty good team, but in the standings aren't a great team. They have KD, they have Devin Booker, all these different guys. But regardless of that, you need to go out, play good basketball. And these are the games where Luka Doncic needs to be able to shine. Yes, he's coming off of injuries, but if he comes out, really has a statement game, it not only is, of course, great for the team morale and all those things, they need it in the standings. If they lose today, they move to 40 and 26, and the Warriors keep winning, Minnesota keeps winning, they are one win away from being tied with the Lakers in wins. And they're two games up of the Warriors, 2.5 games up of the Minnesota Timberwolves. You got to go ahead, get out there, and win these games. And I cannot express how important staying out of the play-in spot is. We know JJ Redick spoke about it. Everybody is talking about it. And the Lakers, we haven't really talked about it this season because they were the 2 seed for a while. They started to win games, or at least since they, maybe the trade for Luka, we haven't talked about it. But now that people are starting to get healthy. You have Gabe and Dorian Finney-Smith returning, which is absolutely huge, especially against a Phoenix Suns team that, has a little bit guard heavy, especially, their second best player is Devin Booker, aside from KD. It's going to be a very interesting one. And fans are starting to kind of feel the pressure a little bit. Must win today, period. Now, I'm not going to go as far as to say it is a must win because there's lots of games left. The Lakers aren't they're in kind of desperation mode, but nothing too crazy yet. It's pretty close to a must win game. You do not want A, Phoenix climbing up the standings at all or anymore, but B, you look at the out-of-town scoreboard, and speaking of which, you can see this here. Here's what Lakers fans should root for today. The Lakers beat the Suns, and the Wolves lose to the Jazz. With that, we can move within 1 game of the 2 seed. So as much as I'm talking about falling down into the play-in spot, you are also just as close to the 2 seed. It is one of the craziest conference races we've ever seen. It is unbelievable this season, and now you can start to see why the Lakers are being very cautious, but also not pushing their players back by any means, but once you get LeBron and Rui back at the same time, this will be an electric finish to the season. Let's say you get LeBron and Rui back the last week of March, right? In a couple weeks' time. You now can just go, go, go. You have a bit of a rough schedule, but you just play it. Most of the back-to-backs will be done by then, so you don't have to worry about injury management a ton, and you just push for as high of a seeding as possible. Stay out of the play-in spot, stay out of those, but these games mean a ton. They mean an absolute ton, and then if you can see this at the bottom, regardless what they do in the offseason regarding a center. But for this season, Doncic, James, Reaves, Hachimura, Dorian Finney-Smith, Jackson Hayes, Jared Vanderbilt, and Knecht. Those are the top 7 to 8 rotation guys. You get all those guys healthy, you have a filthy 7 to 8 man rotation. Yes, the center spot's a little bit interesting. Whether you want to run a backup of Alex Len, I hope not. He's terrible at basketball. Christian Koloko, whoever you'd prefer there. You get them going. You can even throw Jordan Goodwin in there as a backup 2-guard occasionally. We've seen that a bunch this season from JJ. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. But ladies and gentlemen, you're at the point now where you are not only in a very crucial spot for the season, you have games against the Suns. You have games, all these different games, right? You got to go. You got to run for it. And hopefully the Los Angeles Lakers can get the job done in today's game. But beyond that, they need to keep pushing, keep going. And hopefully the Lakers can get the job done. And must-win game. I don't know about a must-win game, but it is one of the biggest games of the season, given the circumstances, and they're almost fully healthy for it, just missing Rui and LeBron. But let me know down below what your thoughts are. Thank you guys for watching. See you later.